And my screen wasn't showing. As always, something needs to go haywire, but either ways, you haven't missed much. I need to change my PHP version here, and so I won't be able to use this terminal. Yeah, because this version is attached to the Windows version that I'm using, so we'll be going with the terminal from Laravel. cd manage php-v 8.0. Great. And last time, as I was saying, I forgot to run Rector for our project and to run it for Laravel 7. So let's go on and run it now. So it's php vendor rector bin rector. Let me just check what the correct command is. And this is the rector website. Vector process. As you can tell, I have the memory of a goldfish, so just please bear with me. And while that's running, let's just take a quick look to see what Rector will do on this run. So, and let's try and map it to what we've gone through on the upgrade guide for Laravel. So let's try and see. Let's look for dispatcher on Laravel documentation. The listen method for this class has been updated to take the listener property optional. And what does Rector do? It goes on to that class, to the listen method, and adds the default value null. So it is doing something for us. And the thing is, if you are manually implementing this interface, so when we are running manually the upgrade guide, we would go through any classes that we are using that overrides this dispatcher class, and we need to set the default value for the listener attribute and change that. What Rector is doing is it actually goes and does that for you. I'm just wondering if it does that on the actual Illuminate class. So on the class that is on the vendor folder, or if it goes through your code and sees if you are extending this class and change that. But since we are not actually overriding this on the project itself, we can't really be sure at the moment of what's going on. What I suggest we do, here, let's see what it did. Cool thing on Rector is that it shows you what it did. So it added the declaration for that variable. How many files? 6 files were changed. And here, what did it change? Nothing that I can. Oh, it changed the name of variable, I think. Yep. Client original extension. And here, this was the this was the function that we added, and that we've created a base model to extend Laravel model. Oh, what did it do? Oh, yeah. I thought it was changing my config files, but no, it wasn't. So I think we can, for this next upgrade, check out the guide for Laravel. Oh, I just noticed that we're on version 8 for this upgrade guide, and we're on version 7 for Laravel, but still we upgraded a class that was mentioned here. I wonder if that class we would have to upgrade it to, so it's the dispatcher. Funny. Now let me explain what I'm seeing here. We are now on the upgrade guide from 6 to 7, and we are running Rector supposedly to Laravel 7. But when we get into the rules, it was mentioning here a rule on the dispatcher. Where was that? Ah, okay, great. I was on the wrong rule set for Rector. Now I'm a little bit less worried. I was thinking that when you called the Laravel setlist for Laravel 7, it was actually running the rules for Laravel 8. So never mind that. I was just, I opened the wrong file for the Rector setlist. So it did our changes, and let's go and go to the upgrade guide to Laravel 8, and we'll be running the composer update. Then we'll be running Rector, and then as we go through the upgrade guide, we'll see if Rector already did some of the changes for us. I think that would be a better test than going through the changes manually, then running Rector. What do you think? Okay, so now let's update our dependencies on the composer.json file. I'm sorry, this is a new thing in Opera, where it has some AI prompts that it calls on ChatGPT, and I wasn't aware that it opens every time that you've selected some text. I need to see if I can remove this, or if this is a bit too big, too little of a nuisance, that I can just deal with it. So let's go on with it for now. So composer.json, oops. What? Oh, composer.json. And let's open let's search for Guzzle. And I don't have Guzzle here. I'm thinking that maybe I should add it. And it's probably a require, not a require dev, given the type of package that Guzzle is. So let's leave it here. And what is the error? It's not installed. Great. Yes, I know it's not installed. Ignition, do we have that? Oops. No. Laravel framework to version 8. Laravel UI to version 3. collision to version 5. I don't have collision here. Let me just, I think, do we have Laravel? Yep, we have Laravel here. Let's go to the 8th branch and open the composer.json and see what differences we have with collision. Collision is required dev. Let me just go through and facade ignition. Yeah, we do have some differences here. I wonder if this is important. Faker. You know what? Let me just copy this and then we'll remove what it's already here. So ignition, faker. Let's remove the old one. Sail, mockery. Again, remove the old one. PHP units. Okay, let's bump it to 9. And all the other ones stay like this. Why is PHP units on yellow? Okay, and let's do the same for the require. Let's use the same thing for PHP version. Fruitcake Laravel course. Okay. Guzzle, I've just added. Laravel framework. Yep, it will go there. Sanctum and Tinker. Great. Just to make sure, let's read on the upgrade guide. Collision to 5, PHP units to 9. So collision 5, PHP units 9. And Horizon Passport Social Lighting Telescope. And the Laravel installer has been updated. Any installer older than 4 will cease to work after October 2020. So I think I already upgraded that. Let's run composer update. And meanwhile, I'll just mute these notifications so they don't bother you. Okay, that should be it. All our dependencies are being upgraded, and then we'll run rector. Where are you? Okay, so on the collections, database. Let's see if this is a huge update or a smaller one. They used to, oh yeah, estimated upgrade time 15 minutes. And again, being locked here on generating optimized autoload files. This used to be so quick, I remember back then. I need to read a little bit into it to see what might be delaying this generation. Meanwhile, the only thing that I think that we can do is open rector.php and bump this to Laravel 8. And from what I'm seeing here, I don't think that a lot of things will be changed by rector, but let's wait and see. By the way, do we have any more sets that could be interesting? Do we call that code? Yes, code quality, coding style, that code. I don't have imagic, and nope. Naming, yes. privatization. What is this? I don't know. Let's add that either way. I'm sure that following standards can't hurt, right? PSR4, type declaration and early return. And we are on PHP 8 and Laravel 8 as well. So our composer update is finished. Let's run Rector. And it will take a little bit of time. Meanwhile, let me do some shameless plug. Here in the middle, you've probably seen that image, that video previewing. I was just, before started this live, listening to the PHP Portugal podcast, this time with Francisco, Lucas and Mateus. They are talking about queues, since Mateus is known for that, and he's the yesterday's actually, because the podcast was recorded yesterday, guest. So do check them out. I'm loving to go to the PHP Portugal meetups. They've been really fun. You get to meet people that you talk to with online personally, and you hear some interesting talks. Lucas, for example, the last one that he gave on PHP Porto was cool on Laravel 8, 8 or 8.1. I'm now a bit confused, but he talked about new features of Laravel, of PHP version, either PHP 8 or PHP 8.1, and it was pretty cool. I've learned some new tricks from him, and then we all got to hang out, so that's always fun. So do check them out if you have the time, and let's see what happened here. There was a problem running one file, actually two files, due to, and then we don't know why. But let's just see what was changed. Oh, okay, so the final keyword was added before the classes, and I think it was because of this privatization rule that we set on Rector. And I'm trying to see if anything was changed because of the Laravel version Rector run. No. It all has to do with adding final to the classes. Let's try and run Rector with the debug option and try to see what was the problem with these two files. Pagamento controller and query.controller. Pagamento controller. Maybe this name is used somewhere else. No, it's just on this class. Please do ignore. Hi, Haz. Hey, it's been fun here. And how are you doing? I'm understanding a little bit better of what Rector is doing, and we are now moving to upgrade this project to Laravel 8. Yay, nice. And how's the weather there? Here, finally, spring is starting to show. We've had good enough weather to be out on a t-shirt. That's fun after the winter. I'm just running a Rector process with debug flag because we had a little bit of an issue with two files, and it suggested that we did that and then show that dump on GitHub. I'm just going to try and read what happened. 2 degrees. Okay. Yes, it's been sunny here, but a little bit warmer. Actually, I don't know if you can see it in my screen. It says 13 degrees, but the maximum for today is 20 or 21, something like that. So it's been a nice and welcome change. Also, something that has been happening to me is that I look out and I see the trees with their new leaves, ultra bright green, the sun is shining, everything is quite happy outside, let's say that. And then I imagine that we're on summer. I want to go out in shorts and t-shirt in the morning, but in the morning it's still like 10 degrees, so it's still a bit cold for that. So there's this disconnect in my mind still. Well, I don't mind doing these upgrades, and since this is a for fun project, I don't see the need for shift because I'm having fun doing this. And yes, I'm tinkering with Rector to see what it does as well. Oh, Rector is actually not a nightmare. Um, the thing that I wanted to test with this is that how much would it do for you in terms of helping you bump versions in Laravel, because you have the plugin, the Rector plugin for Laravel, and it does automatically update some things for you. From what I'm seeing right now is that I think that it mostly goes through the items in the upgrade guide where it says if you are extending this class or overriding this class, you need to maybe what we're seeing here on screen, you need to go to the method listen and say that one of the variables now needs to have a default value. So if you're not if you're not overriding a class, maybe this isn't doing that much for you. To test this now, actually, what I've done just now is that I've upgraded the composer.json to Laravel 8. I've run composer update, and then I run Rector. And only now we are going to go through the upgrade guide. What I was doing previously is that I was upgrading the composer dependencies, then going through manually going manually through the upgrade guide, and only then running Rector. This way, was what I'm hoping to see is that if any recommendations on the upgrade guide are already done by me because I've run Rector before going through the upgrade guide manually. So that is the test that I'm trying to do here. But I've had a problem with Rector on 2 files, and I was running Rector on debug mode to see what happened, and it says that it could not process one of the controllers due to, and now I'm trying to see if I can make anything of what's been written here. You've heard mixed things, so you've heard of Rector before. But have you tried personally? I think not, from what you are writing here. Yeah, you've not tried it. Hence the doubts. I'm sure that if you had tried it, you would have had your mind made up on either it would help you or it wouldn't. So my alarm went off, and I think that these errors have to do with that privatization. So it was trying to add a final keyword before my class. Yeah, and I've heard that Shift is not that expensive, I think. So if you weigh in how much time you would need to spend to upgrade a project versus how much time you would need to spend on Shift, it probably makes up. Okay, it's for a year. And it runs the updates automatically for you. Okay, I wasn't aware. I thought that you paid a fixed price and then you upgraded everything. So it still is a little bit because it's a fixed fee per time. But yeah, it's just a matter of seeing what pays up for your project, the time that you spend on it, or paying for Shift. Oh, you can pay a fixed price. I think that when I first saw Shift, you paid a fixed price to upgrade your project. That's what I had in my mind. A Rector does have a plugin for Laravel. Yes, it's been maintained now by Driftingly, so Anthony Clark, and I've actually spoke to him not long ago. He was added to the repo not that long also, so he was still learning the ropes, but yeah, some things are already there. So when you install the plugin, the Laravel plugin for Rector, you have the set lists for Laravel, which can help you. Let me just check. Go from Laravel 5 to Laravel 10. Yes. Well, when you run Rector, you define what version of Laravel you are bumping to. So from what I've talked with Thomas, the creator, he said that you need to go through the changes for each version. So at first I was on Laravel 5 and I just put in here Laravel 10, but that's not how it works. You need to go through it step by step. And then Rector, what it does is you define sets of rules and it goes through your files and see where those rules applies and does those changes. So here for this rule, for instance, it goes and changes an argument on a class. If you go inside that rule, I've not gone into too much into the ropes of this, but from what I understand, let me see what I was here. It goes through the dispatcher class, and then it goes to the listen method, and then I think that this is the argument that you are changing. So probably events is on position 0, listener is on position 1, because I've read on the upgrade guide that originally listener did not have a default value, and that's what Rector added. It went to the argument with position 1, so the listener, and it set the default value to null. So you can actually write your own rules for it, which is also powerful, but I don't think I will be going into that. Really, I was just basically trying to see what it did for itself. And I'm sorry, it's been really fun as always to have you here. I hope you've learned a little bit of Rector, but my 2 alarms just rang and now I need to run. So for today, what we did, we've upgraded to Laravel 10. We run Rector for Laravel 10. We had a problem with 2 files, but it was with the privatization set list, so I'm okay with that. And then for next time, we'll be going through the upgrade guide for version 8 manually to see if Rector actually did some changes for us, and that's the plan for next time. Thank you, Haz, and thank you all for being here.